I think the question.
I think the question. I think the question.
For Bill Harwood, CBS.
I just want to go back to what Bob was saying yesterday, describing the ride uphill. You were comparing it a little bit to shuttle. I was more interested in how did the first stage of the Falcon 9 feel compared to the shuttle when it was on solids? How did the second stage feel? You made it sound like maybe it was a little rougher than the shuttle on the main engines. And just wondering if there was ever a point in there when you looked over at Doug and went, wow, this isn't quite what I was expecting.
Well, Bill, you took the words right out of our mouth. The summary from yesterday was good. Smoother first stage, a little rougher second stage than we saw on shuttle, and that I think both of us were expecting. We did actually comment on it while we were going uphill. I think we tried to verbalize as much of the new experiences we were having just to make sure they were for real between the two of us. We were sensing the same things.
Hi, thanks for taking my question. Stephen Clark from Spaceflight Now. Just to follow up on that, what was the sensation at MECO and at stage separation, since that's something that was not experienced really during shuttle, to shut down the engines and then ignite a new engine in flight? I'm also curious about how your experiences were with the spacesuits in flight. Thank you very much.
I think the question was about the difference with staging between the space shuttle and the Dragon, since we didn't shut down the main engines on the space shuttle like we went through for first stage and second stage. There was a significant difference between the solid rocket boosters on the shuttle and that second stage, and so I think we all definitely felt that separation and heard the clunk associated with it. Doug and I both commented on, I think Doug commented on it first, that we did feel some early zero-G when we came off of the first stage, and we're getting ready to transition to the second stage, and then we felt that second stage light.
Hey guys, it's Chris Davenport from the Washington Post. Thanks for taking the time, and congrats on your flight, and I'll try not to leave you hanging this time. To follow up on Bill and Stephen's question about the ride, I wonder if you can walk us through, some of the technological differences between shuttle that led to the difference in the experiences, and then maybe a little bit more of what were some of the key moments during the ascent phase that stood out to you guys. Thank you.
Hey, Chris. Good to talk with you. I think just generically, the Falcon 9 is a liquid-fueled rocket. Remember, shuttle had solid rocket boosters to start with. Those burned very rough for the first 2.5 minutes. The first stage with Falcon 9 were the 9 Merlin engines, and roughly the same amount of time, and it was a much smoother ride, obviously because it was a liquid engine ascent at that point. Where the differences started for, I think, both Bob and I, and we commented on it at the moment, was at staging, and it was very similar to what you saw in the Apollo 13 movie, where they staged from first to second stage. So the first stage engine shut off, and then it takes a second, almost a second, might have been less than that, but it seemed like it took some time between the booster separating and then the Merlin vacuum engine starting. And so at that point, we go from roughly 3 Gs to 0 Gs for, I don't know, half a second probably. And then when that Merlin vacuum engine fires, then we start accelerating again for the next 5-6 minutes until we achieve orbit. So totally different than shuttle. It was smooth. It got a little rougher, as Bob had mentioned before, with the Merlin vacuum engine, and it'll be interesting to talk to the SpaceX folks to find out why it was a little bit rougher ride on second stage than it was for shuttle on those 3 main engines.